بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Alhamdulillah, congratulations again and again and again. 1,000 Mubarak for all of you and for your family and for your spouse and for your parents and for your children. May Allah Azza wa Jal make this month the best month for all of us, insha'Allah Rabbil Alameen. So today we're going to start with the first juzu, insha'Allah Rabbil Alameen. And obviously, what are we reading? We're reading Al-Quran Al-Kareem, insha'Allah Rabbil Alameen. This is the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. It says Al-Quran Al-Kareem. Excellent. We start with the word Quran. Quran comes from the word qara'a. From the word qara'a. The first word revealed of this book, Al-Quran, is Iqra. So what's the meaning of the word Quran? The meaning of the word Quran is the book that is supposed to be read again and again and again. The name of our book is Read Me. That's the name of our book. Read me frequently. The general meaning of the word Quran, the book that is read frequently. That's exactly what we are going to do in the month of Ramadan. So from the get-go, you're reading Al-Quran. The Quran can only be Quran to you if you read it. Then it's going to become Quran, because now you're reading it frequently. And Alhamdulillah for the blessing of the month of Ramadan that we are actually reading it frequently. In Al-Quran Al-Kareem, obviously, we go the first page, Surah Al-Fatiha. It's usually decorated and very nicely, mashallah. Different masajid, different prints. It's a very beautiful print. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. In the first juzu, one piece of information that you want to know is the first juzu, or any juzu in the Quran. In this book, Al-Quran Al-Kareem, there is roughly 600 pages. 600 pages. Exactly, to be exact, it's 604. The first page is Surah Al-Fatiha. Okay, if we divide 600 divided by 30 juzu, that means every juzu is 20 pages. Take it as a rule. Every juzu is 20 pages. That's why at the end of the first juzu here, at the end of the first juzu, we look at what page number? Oh, it's page number 21. Page number 21. So that's why, my dear brothers and sisters, just general information so that you know what we're dealing with. You wonder why Muslims were praying 20 rak'ah. Without them writing the Quran like this, they used to read roughly one page in every rak'ah. So now you have 20 pages, 20 rak'ah, roughly. And that's why we were praying 20 rak'ah. Also, there is obviously narrations that Muslims in the early generations from the time of the Khilafah, they were praying 20 rak'ah for Salat al-Taraweeh. First surah in the Quran is called Al-Fatiha. The opener. The opener. You cannot open the Quran without the key. What's the key? Surah Al-Fatiha. That's why you have to recite Surah Al-Fatiha in every rak'ah, so that you can start open your rak'ah, open the salah, and open the Quran with this opener, Al-Fatiha. Okay. Number two, the other name of Surah Al-Fatiha is Ummul Kitab, the mother of the book. Subhanallah. So it's in the beginning of the book, it's the mother of the book. This Surah Al-Fatiha, another name, As-Sab'ul Mathani, the seven dual. The seven dual. They say seven dual here could mean Surah Al-Fatiha. Some other books, opinions in the books of tafsir is the seven long surahs that come in the beginning of the Quran. But for the most part, As-Sab'ul Mathani, Kitab, Al-Fatiha. MashaAllah. And there is other names in Al-Quran Al-Kareem, other names that the Sahaba used to call Surah Al-Fatiha. Not necessarily an official name, but for example, Ash-Shafiyah. They used to recite it on the head of the sick person to heal him, and the person would heal with Iman, subhanallah. That's why this is very, very exciting. Surah Al-Fatiha, according to the order of revelation, it was revealed as the 5th surah in the Quran. 5th surah in the Quran. اقرأ بسم ربك الذي خلق العلق نون والقلم وما يسطرون يا المدثر يا المزمل الفاتحة. So, but there is something else exciting about Surah Al-Fatiha, that there is narrations that actually Surah Al-Fatiha is the only surah in the Quran that was revealed in Mecca and then revealed again in Medina. Same surah revealed twice to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why no one can overstate the importance of Surah Al-Fatiha and the deep meaning of Surah Al-Fatiha. Also, Surah Al-Fatiha is a surah that the believer uses it between him and Allah Azza wa Jal as a dua. It's not only a Quran recitation of Quran, it's a dua. That's why at the end of the dua we say Ameen. Ya Allah, answer. Ameen meaning may that happen. May that insha'Allah happen. So it's a dua, not only a Quran. That's why, I caught my father and my grandfather, whenever they are like about to do something or something became difficult or this or that, they'll raise their hand and read Surah Al-Fatiha for everything, for marriage, for death, for parties, for funerals, for weddings, for business deals, for business partnership, for moving into the house, for starting something new. SubhanAllah, they will always say, Allah started His book with Surah Al-Fatiha. We're going to start this with Surah Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. In Surah Al-Fatiha, also there is a Hadith Qudsi that you're going to hear. And I will leave it to that day, inshallah, when you hear the Hadith Al-Qudsi. But basically, it's when you read Surah Al-Fatiha, it's a conversation between you and Allah Ta'ala. Conversation between you and Allah. And we will dive in that in another episode, inshallah. Now, you pray Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim, and Allah Azza wa Jal reveal the rest of the Quran for you, as we said earlier, from Alif Lam Mim to Min al-Jinnati wal-Nas, all for your hidayah. You made dua, your dua is answered right away. So this is really, really, really exciting, walhamdulillah. Now, in this also Surah Al-Fatiha, after Surah Al-Fatiha obviously comes Surah Al-Baqarah. Surah Al-Baqarah, my dear brothers and sisters, is a very special surah. Why? It is the first surah revealed in Medina. If Al-Alaq, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, is the first surah ever revealed of the Quran, especially in Mecca, Surah Al-Baqarah is the first surah that was revealed in Medina. And Surah Al-Baqarah, my dear brothers and sisters, is like a summary, an intro to the rest of the Quran. 5 pillars of Islam, talking about Salah, where? Surah Al-Baqarah. The only ayah about wudu, where? Surah Al-Baqarah. The ayat about fasting, where? Surah Al-Baqarah. The ayah about zakat and and the places to whom you pay zakat, where? Surah Al-Baqarah. The ayat about the Hajj and some details about Hajj, where? Surah Al-Baqarah. The 6 articles of Iman, Al-Iman Billahi wal Yawm Al-Akhir, in Allah and life after death and the day of judgment, where? Surah Al-Baqarah. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله. Believe in angels, books, messengers. Believing in Allah, where? Surah Al-Baqarah. The stories of the prophets and messengers, a group of them, especially story of Ibrahim, Ismail, Ishaq and Yaqub, where? Surah Al-Baqarah. Even Allah talks about Sulaiman and Sihr and all of that, where? In Surah Al-Baqarah. Dawood and Sulaiman mentioned. Stories of the people of the book before us, the Jews and the Christians. Where? Surah Al-Baqarah. So Surah Al-Baqarah is like the summary of the entire Quran. Truly deserves to be in the beginning of the order of recitation after Surah Al-Fatiha. After Surah Al-Fatiha. So that's why, my dear brothers and sisters, in Surah Al-Baqarah starts with very interesting explaining about three categories of people. The mu'mineen, the kafirin, and the munafiqeen. The believers, the non-believers, disbelievers, and the what? And the hypocrites. So inshallah, we will dive into that in a second, but I need to make sure that the charger is on my computer. Just 1 second, inshallah. Okay, excellent. So when we look at Surah Al-Baqarah, my dear brothers and sisters, first 5 ayat, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It is a guidance to the what? To the muttaqeen. طيب, who are the muttaqeen? Those who believe in the unseen. Allah, the angels, the prophets, heaven, hell, resurrection, destiny. It's all unseen to us. The believers believe in the unseen. Establish prayer, and of what we have given them, they spend. And those who believe in what was revealed to you and what was revealed to before you, and in the akhirah they have yaqeen. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. They have certainty about akhirah. Those are truly on guidance from their Lord, and those are the successful, مفلحون. We said اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. In the first 5 ayat in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah Azza wa Jal tells us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, who is al-muhtadun, who are those who are guided. And that's really, really amazing. You make the dua, you get the answer. Immediately after that, Allah Azza wa Jal speaks in 2 ayat about the non-believers, those who made their decision very, very, very well known. After 13 years of da'wah in Mecca, certain people made it very clear, we will not believe until the day we die. Very sad, but very true. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Prophet, those who disbelieved, the one whom He left them in Mecca, whether you warn them or you don't warn them, they will not believe. That's it. There is a seal on their eyes, on their heart, on their ears. That's it. They've heard you for 13 years and they made their decision again and again and again. Then Allah Azza wa Jal now talks about a new category in Medina. In Medina, there are people who embraced Islam just because everyone embraced Islam. So they were just in the crowd, but in their heart, they really didn't want Islam. They really didn't like it. They've just felt pressured, social pressure, to embrace Islam and practice Islam. Subhanallah, until today, we have people who practice Islam only because of social pressure. Insha'Allah, we're not like that. Ya Rabbal Alameen. May Allah make us better believers when we are hidden, when nobody sees us, than when people see us. Insha'Allah, we are better inside than outside our homes. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. So Allah speaks for 12 ayat. 5 about the believers, 2 about the non-believers, 12 about the hypocrites. And Allah explains to us some of their sicknesses. You know, when they meet people, oh, we are believers. And when they are alone, they make fun of the believers. And they are like, Allah Azza wa Jal described this group of people as worse than non-believers. Subhanallah. After that, now we are in the second page, right? After that, in the second page, Allah Azza wa Jal invites all mankind to worship Him. Ya ayyuhan nasu ubudu rabbakum, who created you and those who came before you so that you may gain righteousness. It is He who made for you the earth as a bed, and the sky as a ceiling, and he made rain fall from the sky, so he grew for you fruits so that you will eat from them. So don't make shirk, don't put with Allah people that you worship and devote yourself for them when they have done none of that and they're not God and they didn't do any of the blessings that you are enjoying. Allah Azza wa Jal says, and give glad news. Allah offers a challenge in the second page. Imitate one surah like the Quran, just one surah. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك الأبتر. They can't. You know why they can't, brothers and sisters? Not only the style of the Quran was very unique. Definitely the style of the Quran was very unique, but something else. The topics of the Quran were above and beyond the topics that the people of Quraysh used to talk about, or the people of Jahiliyyah, or the people of Arabia used to talk about. What did they used to talk about? War, and when we have war, we win the war and we kick our enemy and we don't regret it and nobody can do anything to us. They talk about alcohol, wine and beer and wine and alcohol and khamr, and they praise the khamr. And they talk about women and women and women and women and women and women and women, obviously objectifying women just for pleasure, right? Not looking at them as full human beings. What did the people of Jahiliyyah talk about? They talked about pride and pride and pride and pride and pride and pride. Sometimes they talked about good character. Sometimes, yes, they talked. But talking about Allah, talking about life after death, talking about heaven and hell, talking about big goals in life, talking about establishing justice, talking about speaking justice and truth, even if against yourself and your parents or your loved ones or your relatives or rich people or people in power, you have to speak truth to these topics, these subjects were not available in the shi'r of Jahiliyyah, in the poem of Jahiliyyah. So that's why it's very, very important to know when Allah told them, bring one surah like the Quran, not only they couldn't copy the style, they cannot even come up with the big meanings, the big topics, the elevation, the class of the topics. It was beyond their imagination and their reach. They just wanted to drink alcohol, charge people interest, fight a battle and win and kill their enemy, take pride in their ego. That's what they were consumed with. So how can they compete with the Quran? They cannot. So that's why, brothers and sisters, it's very important to know that in the third page of this, great juzu, now we're going into the fifth page of this juzu. Allah Azza wa Jal talks about, the believers in heaven. Very beautiful ayat. Allah Azza wa Jal talks about people who are they disbelieve, but not based on reasoning or intellect. They disbelieve based on stubbornness. Allah Azza wa Jal then talks about the story of the creation of Adam. That's on the 6th page of the juzu. Adam learned all the names. Allah created Eve. Allah asked Adam and Eve to live in heaven, not to eat from the tree. The shaitan made them eat from the tree. They were kicked out of Jannah. So that is, they were made to leave Jannah and come and live on earth. And Allah Azza wa Jal said, the children of Adam and the children of the shaitan will be enemies to one another. But Allah asks us to always side with him and not to accept and go for the tricks of shaitan. Allah Azza wa Jal, then in page number 7, Allah Azza wa Jal starts talking to Bani Israel. Ya Bani Israel, اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأوفوا بعهدي أوفي بعهدكم وإياي فارهبون. We will find in Surah Al-Baqarah very early on, Allah Azza wa Jal starts talking to the children of Israel, and Allah starts talking about the story of Musa. Why, my dear brothers and sisters? Because Musa alayhi salam was the only prophet before Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that started a nation from scratch, that ended up with a large nation following him, that ended up with laws to regulate this nation, that ended up struggling with his own nation. And you can see in the beginning of Surah ElBakri, Allah Azza wa Jal is telling us about the hypocrites. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is now telling us to what? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is dealing with these munafiqeen. He's dealing with these hypocrites, like Musa alayhi salam dealt with the hypocrites amongst the children of Israel. So Allah Azza wa Jal is telling us now the stories of the children of Israel, telling that to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam in Surah Al-Baqarah, after Rasulullah moved to Medina, and now he has an ummah to deal with, like Musa had an ummah to deal with. That's why now Allah Azza wa Jal is talking to the children of Israel, and that goes on for a while. As a matter of fact, you know, in my preparation, if you look, Allah Azza wa Jal started from ayah number 40, and you can say the ayat kept on talking in and out about the struggle of the children of Israel. And Allah Azza wa Jal, why is He telling us that? He's telling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam so that the Prophet will learn from the story of Musa. Allah is telling us the stories of the Israelites so that we can learn from their mistakes and not repeat their mistakes again. Some people, when they read these ayat, they think Allah just wants to tell us how bad were the children of Israel and that's it. No. Allah is telling us their mistakes because they were the only nation before us that ended up with a messenger, with books, with laws. They had to follow the laws, right? On a large scale. You know, what was the ummah of Nuh? Very small. What was the ummah of Ibrahim? Very small. What was the ummah of Ayub? We don't know. What was the ummah of Shu'aib? Very small. Meaning the actual believers that followed Shu'aib or Hud or Salih, or Nuh or Idris. Very small number. Musa alayhi salam, very large number. We are today Muslims, very large number. From the time of the Prophet till today, subhanallah, the number of the ummah is happening. So we have to really pay attention why Allah is talking about the children of Israel so that we don't repeat the mistakes. Okay, so what are the mistakes that Allah Azza wa Jal told us that they did so that we don't do it? Right? It's a lesson for us. Don't have hard hearts. Soften your hearts with Allah's remembrance. Don't have a heart harder than a rock. Because no dhikr, no prayers, no obedience, no love, no mercy, no giving, the heart becomes hard. You know, Allah said, don't do that. Allah Azza wa Jal said, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous to the point of hating another believer because he's a good believer. You end up having jealousy that turns into hatred. Listen, learn from the children of Israel's story. Allah Azza wa Jal is telling us in the Quran, do not let go of the commandments that I have given you. When I tell you this is haram, stay away from it. Don't try to find excuses to do haram. When I tell you this is halal, stick with it. Don't make halal haram. This is very important, right? All in Surah Al-Baqarah. What we are learning from the stories of the children of Israel. Allah Azza wa Jal is also telling us, don't say something and do something else. Because Allah is telling them, why are you saying what you're not? You're saying what you're not doing. This is something that all believers can fall in, right? All of these mistakes. Why are you saying what you're not doing? How could you preach something and do something else? Why are you rejecting the messengers? Allah is talking to the children of Israel, and we're listening to that And we're learning from that. Why did you kill the messengers with no sin, just because they went against your own desires? Why are you following your desires and whims and what you like, instead of following Allah's revelation? What's the point of having a revelation if you're not going to follow it and you're going to follow your desire? And here's another one. Why are you changing the book? Either by adding to it, or taking away from it, or changing the meaning. Subhanallah, all of this is happening right now in the people want the ayah clearly says don't do this, and people some way somehow switch the meaning and they say no, the ayah does not say do this. What are you reading? Chinese? What are you reading? Mandarin? Like, are you reading Arabic? Do you know Arabic? What are you saying? Wallah didn't say alcohol is haram in Islam or in the Quran. Which Quran are you reading? Oh, in the Quran there is no ayah that says cover your head or wear clothes modestly. Subhanallah, there is. So you change the meaning, right? You say no, this doesn't mean that. يحرفون الكلمة عن مواضعه. Don't do that. Subhanallah. Don't say سمعنا وعصينا. Don't say we heard and we disobeyed. We don't want to listen. Subhanallah. Allah Azza wa Jal said, don't let the love of dunya, He's talking to them, don't let the love of dunya be greater in your hearts than the love of the hereafter. You can love your children, love your wealth, but not bigger and greater than the love of Allah and His Messenger and life after death and the day of judgment and Jannah. Allah Azza wa Jal, do not break your covenant with Allah. Allah is telling them, and we're listening to that and to the conversation. Allah Azza wa Jal is telling us also, do not turn the identity of the believer into a racial identity. Oh, we are the beloved children of God, so therefore we can do whatever we want because God loves us and we are His children. Like, God is not racist. Subhanallah. God does not have prejudice. God does not come and to say to a group of people, okay, you're special, you can do whatever you want, but the rest I'm going to judge them. So Allah Azza wa Jal says, don't say we are the beloved people of God, the children of God, we'll just go to Jannah anyway. Subhanallah, how many times like people say, oh, I'm a Muslim, even if I can go to hell a little bit, I will go at the end go to Jannah. Like, I'm guaranteed Jannah. Subhanallah, how could you say that? It's like you want Allah to say, no, you're not guaranteed. Instead of crying and humbling yourself, it's like, no, I'm a Muslim, I'm going to go to Jannah anyway. Arrogance in faith. Arrogance in faith. Ego in faith. Subhanallah. Faith makes you humble, not have ego even with Allah. Like, Allah, you have to make me go to Jannah because I'm a Muslim. Like what? Subhanallah. We don't approach Allah like that in Islam. We approach Him with sujood. Go on your head. 8 to 20 rak'ah in Ramadan plus 3 witr. That's how we approach Allah. Humbleness. Not entitlement. Not entitlement. So that's why Allah Azza wa Jal also in the first juzu, Allah speaks that I did not take a son. If I wanted to take a son, you wouldn't even know about it. Like, I did not take a son. I don't have a son. I'm not born, nor I give birth. I have no beginning, no end, and it's not something that I approve of. And finally, at the end of the first juzu, some of the most beautiful ayat in Al-Quran Al-Kareem, and I will, it's talking about Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. It's talking about Sayyidina Ibrahim and Ismail alayhim salam. It's very, very beautiful and very touching, right? Allah is telling us, say we believe in Allah and what was revealed to us and what was revealed to Ibrahim and Ismail and Ishaq and Yaqub and Al-Asbat and what Allah gave Musa and Isa and what the prophets were given from their Lord. We don't discriminate between any of them, and we are to Allah submitters. So if they believe in what you have believed in, then they have been guided. But if they turn away, they are only in dispute. So Allah will take care of you and you don't have to worry about them. This is the coloring of Allah. And who is better than Allah in coloring the believers? What's the coloring? What's your coloring? What's your personality? Do you have the coloring of the believer like the way Allah explains the Quran? Are you thoughtful? Are you humble? Are you God-fearing? Do you stop before you do something haram? Are you servant and slave of Allah Azza wa Jal? Do you serve His creation? That's the coloring of Allah to the believer. And the rest of the book is telling us what character and what coloring should we have. Insha'Allah, Allah Azza wa Jal make us from His ibad as-salihin, insha'Allah, and make the best out of us, insha'Allah. And insha'Allah we will be able to wrap up. May Allah Azza wa Jal reward you. Enjoy reading the Quran. Again, in the Hanafi madhab, it is makruh to hold the Quran in your hand when you are praying. In the rest of the madhab, it's permissible. The Imam can hold the Quran and read, so you can take the easier answer from the rest of the madhab, right? And you can read from during Taraweeh, or you can lead Taraweeh with the short surahs that you know, and then read the entire Juz from the Mus'haf, insha'Allah Rabbil Alameen. Start with energy, don't slack off, don't procrastinate, move forward, insha'Allah, and Allah Azza wa Jal will enable us. And inshallah I will call for Adhan al-Isha. I believe it's now, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. As we checked before, it is 9:30. We're actually 7 minutes after. May Allah reward you. Wa jazakumullah khair. And I'm going to call the Adhan inshallah, and we take it from there inshallah Rabbil Alameen. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala as-salah. Hayya ala as-salah. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة العالية الرفيعة وبعث اللهم المقام المحمود الذي وعدت إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Enjoy the first night of Ramadan. 1000 Ramadan Mubarak. Inshallah, Allah will make it truly a blessed month and put so much value for us. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.